Welcome to the Tom Tuah Podcast, where we discuss the most relevant media events across the industry. I'm your host, Talkative Tom.
And I'm your host, Aggravated Archie.
So Archie, first we're going to talk about what it means to be diverse in the creative industry. Can you tell me more about that?
Well, I think being diverse in the creative industry is quite an interesting one. I think in a sense it means, you've got to adapt to the situations you're put in. So you've got to be good with sound and audio, and you've got to be good post-production and pre-production, and you've got to be versatile, and sort of adapt and be diverse, exactly, because you can never do just one thing in the industry. You have to be there for everything until you can narrow down what you want to do. What about you, Tom?
I've got to agree with you there. I mean, not much of those are different. But what does it do to kind of help you get through the industry though?
Well, it definitely gives you a nice base to start. Nobody wants to hire someone, but with no experience, taking a gamble at them who's only good at one thing. And you're never going to start out in the position you want, I think is a fair takeaway. So I think it's fair to say if you can do anything and everything that the crew needs, then you'll be definitely liked, and it's definitely going to get you further, especially in the same place, ranking up, moving up the chain, as if you will.
Overall, you kind of just pointed out the best things about being diverse in the industry, but what are the problems of just not being diverse?
Well, it can cause a lot of problems. I think the main one is work. You're not going to be able to find work, and you can really miss out on some big opportunities if you couldn't do something. And big sets, you're not always required just to do one thing on a smaller set. You can be, versed in multiple things, and you may have to be.
However, though, we'll move on to our next point is, what do you need to do to actually be supportive in this industry?
Well, that's a tricky one, you see, because being supportive is I think it's about, reassuring people and helping them do what they need to do, and also, being critical. You can't sugarcoat everything. You have to be honest on where the improvement needs, because in the media industry, you can't take anything personally. You can't take it to heart. You have to accept it, and it's feedback, and improve. And I think that's the whole thing, is improving. Just improve as much as you can.
As well, though, would that also include on how you speak to others?
Definitely. It's definitely about how you communicate with others and how that works, how that flows, and being nice but helpful, because you don't want to, it's hard to find the nice line between that of not being rude but helping someone. But I think if you can accept help like that, and other people can, then it works brilliantly and it flows very well.
No, it's got to be quite hard though to be supportive in the industry. It's got to be hard, doesn't it?
I think it's definitely something you get used to. I think that over time you sort of build to know that, I'm the one who's helping you here. I'm helping you not because I want to be rude, because I want you to have better work. I want you to improve, So I think it's a bit of an ambiguous one.
Yeah. Okay, so next we'll talk about having to gain some niche attributes. Can you ask me, you're quite knowledgeable when it comes to niche attributes in the media industry, so can you ask me a few questions that you may have?
Yeah, I definitely think that niche attributes is a big thing, because, that is kind of why you're hired in the media industry, right? When you're a film set, you need to be niche. You need to have years of experience. You can't be new and expect to be doing one thing. You have to be very experienced, very knowledgeable to get the places you want. And as I said prior, it's all about what skills you have. And so niche attributes, if someone goes, oh, that person is really, really good at editing, like visual editing, that's great, and you've got testimonials and referrals, that's exactly what you want. But what would you say?
I'd say to be niche is you need to try and bring in a big audience. You've got to be in the industry, but you have to kind of have your own ring to how you do things. You've got to be special to try and stick out. Because there's just so many people out there making podcasts and doing so many other things. It's really hard to just kind of cover so many niche things that people want to see, and it just makes it even more difficult to kind of bring in more more diverse audiences than what other competitors are currently doing. Thank you for listening. This has been Talkative Tom
and Aggravated Archie. Make sure to keep it lemon and stay safe.